Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. Uh, let's go, Helen. Good morning. Yeah, good morning to you. Breakthroughs in the house, for sure. Come on. Breakthroughs in the house. Thurman, good morning to you, man. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Let's do it. It's Foundation Friday. We got 3 more months to go in this year. We're gonna finish strong. We're gonna finish strong. We're gonna create minimum for next year now. Charlene, how you doing? Bless you, my daughter. Bless you. Yeah, we're gonna do it now. It's gonna it's gonna be impactful. Come on, put your feet on the enemy's neck. Don't get up off of it. Don't get on. Let's press toward the mark of the high calling in Christ Jesus. Let's do it. I hope you've been getting all of these nuggets on the laws of increase. My dear friend Pastor McNeil said something. Let's create momentum for next year. That's right. That's right, Helen. That's what we're doing. My dear friend Pastor McNeil, I got to get him over at the gate. He said, "Life is life is lived out on levels, but is sustained by the laws." Yeah, life is about levels, but it is sustained and maintained by the laws that you adhere to. Yes, good morning, Tamika. Glory to God in heaven. Yeah, let's go. Let's go. It's up to us, you know? Man, it's up to us. God has given us everything we need to win. Michelle, good morning to you. Kingdom dominator. That's what you are, Michelle, a kingdom dominator. Nothing's going to stop you. Man, this is it. I mean, these laws of increase have been blessing my life. Just sharing them with you has just made me spend a lot of reflective time, the things that are working in my life and how did I get there, and it's because of the laws of increase. It's because of the laws of increase. Yeah, life is lived on levels and sustained by laws. Man, if you break the laws, man, there is, it holds up stuff. And by the Spirit of God, I was led to talk to you about this increase because God is announcing to us that He wants to see more out of us. And so the reason the pastor is led to talk about, that's right, Michelle, that's what you are. You're a kingdom. Lisa Flynn, good morning. The reason we're talking about this is it is critical that you understand, and get this down as protocols. Kingdom living, how to live the kingdom. There's only a remnant that's going to do it, everybody. There's a remnant. You are part of the remnant. And so don't get distracted by your friends. And well, I would I would change that language because your friends are defined by Jesus. Jesus said your friends are the people that do the will of God. A lot of times your family member and what we call friends are not our friends. And that takes some growing up to look at it that way. Think about it. You've got to identify the people that you're called to lead. A lot of times the people who we call family and friends, we've been assigned to lead them, not the other way around. So why would you allow anyone, once you get a hold of these principles, why would you allow anyone to stop you from pursuing God? I personally believe, I'm just talking, y'all. I got a couple minutes. I just personally believe there is no fulfillment without God. And so don't get don't don't miss it. Don't think for 1 second people who are not committed to God is fulfilled. There's an emptiness, especially if they're saved. Mhm. Especially if they say that they've given their life to Christ. My Lord, if people have given their life to Christ and they've been assigned to your life, you're going to bump into them along the journey. And so one of the things that you have to know is you have to know who you're called to lead. You know who you're called to lead. You're called to lead the ones that have not heard the voice. Yeah, yeah. It's like, what is it? That many are called, few are chosen. The chosen are the ones who responded to the voice. My Lord, he's called many, but you guys have responded to the voice. Yeah, absolutely. My sheep know my voice and they follow me, right? So you can't be a sheep. Jesus identifies his sheep by the followers. You follow me? The followers. So if you see believers who claim to be believers and they're not followers of Christ, you know they're not a good sheep yet. They're wandering. They could be a sheep, but they're wandering. But Jesus said, "My sheep." He said, "My sheep know my voice," and they don't listen to hirelings. I guess that's the right word, hirelings. But that's it. They don't listen to hirelings, and you got to know. And we're going to get our marching orders, your marching orders from Jesus. And everything and every one of these laws of increase that I've been sharing with you, Jesus practiced. He mastered it, and he left them for us to duplicate. Yeah, absolutely. He expects us to do greater than works than he did. He expects it. And so let's get locked and loaded. We're going to do another component. Share the broadcast. Come on, share the broadcast. Everybody wants increase. Everybody may not be willing to do what it needs to be done to get it, but everybody wants increase. And us as people of God, we're going to master this thing. And this is great. And so let's rock and roll. Let's talk about faithfulness. One of my mentors gave me this word, and you've heard me say it many times. And if you heard me say it, then you may remember who I say I got it from. You need some people in your life that's going to lead you the right way. And I remember sitting with Bishop C. Wright years ago when I started ministry. Pastor Mo and I, matter of fact, Pastor Mo and I was sitting with Bishop C. Wright and Pastor Mary, lovely people, years ago. And Bishop said to me, and I'm looking at his life, and his life he's got increase, he's got a thriving church, successful ministry, successful marriage, successful at raising his children. They're all in ministry, doing well, serving God with him. And he said, Tim, he said, faithfulness and sowing seed. He said, you're going to have to demonstrate faithfulness and sowing seed. That's what he said. And this is a giant. And I remember him coming to our second year anniversary. Some of you who were here back then. I mean, we're here back then. And he demonstrated. I asked him to come to do our Bible study night. He came down from Jersey and did our Bible study night, and then wrote me a check. I have never had that happen before. He wrote me a check for, I think, $1,500 or $1,000, and I invited him to come. My Lord, he wrote me a check. He sowed seed. He said, I'm going to bless you. And he just sowed seed. Just sow seed, man. Just was a blessing to my life. Dr. Mike did it too. Came to the ministry, had him come and he raised the offering. He said, no, he said, He said, I'll receive this, but I'm giving this to your church. I'm sowing seed. And so all the great men of God that I've listened to and have trained me over the years are doing well because of these principles that I'm sharing with you. Because nobody gets anywhere by themselves. Are you with me? All right. So let's talk about faithfulness. Let's talk about it. All right. And I know you've heard it, but let's get something new. I want to strengthen you in this endeavor because it can get difficult at times being faithful. Yeah. Did you know it says if you don't if you get weary in well doing, you don't reap. So your reaping is an increase. So evidently when I'm doing good, I am susceptible to stop being faithful because of the challenges that my life is experiencing. Yeah, and I've been in the game for a little while, and I've watched many Christian lives, and I can tell you that many. Now I'm just dropping this, so y'all better catch everything I'm getting here. Many people drop out because of life. Don't allow. Put this in your note takers, right? Don't allow life to be a distraction. Life can be a distraction from faithfulness. Life can be an enemy to faithfulness. Because what happens is when we start to experience life, and we all do, tribulation, challenges. Do you know when people experience life and challenges, they try to justify their lack of faithfulness because of what they're going through? How can I justify my lack of faithfulness based on what I'm going through when everybody is going through? Life cannot be an excuse for a lack of faithfulness. Come on, let's get this stuff down. Life cannot be an excuse for a lack of faithfulness. You have to know that life can be a distraction if you let it. We're all going to lose loved ones. We're all going to get, I won't even say this word because I'm not going to even speak that, but we all can experience issues in our body. We all can experience a betrayal. We all can experience challenges in our relationships with our children. Somebody say that's life, isn't it? It's life, it's life, it's life. So I can't use life as an excuse for my lack of faithfulness when I know that if I keep doing good, I'm going to reap. So faithfulness is a law of increase. My God. Yeah, I've taught for many years. Sometimes you have to serve and give your life, and you have to be a wounded healer. You may not be 100%, but you're pressing. Mm-hmm. Spence tells me that all the time. Not all the time, but and Spence has been faithful to this ministry. And and when he's not doing well sometimes, and I appreciate that about you, Spence. I tell you, I really, really do. People may not know that, but I appreciate about you, man. Even when you're not fit, when you're missing, I know you can't make it. You can't make it. You've demonstrated that over the years, and many of you are faithful. I'm just highlighting something that I'm seeing that, so don't take that the wrong way that you guys are not faithful. But Spence, and most of you know, been here for years, and he's demonstrated that. I've seen that. He's a faithful, and may have heard me say faithful Thurman. Thurman's everywhere. He's everywhere I need. He's everywhere I need him to be when I need him to be there. He's faithful, and I can count on him. I can count on him. And that's so good. So let's get into some scripture that I want to share with you about how faithfulness is a law of increase. If you're tracking me, say I'm tracking you. Come on, let's dialogue. Yeah. He who is faithful in what is least is faithful also in what is much. That's right. He who is faithful in what is least, he who is unjust in what is least is also faithful in much. Now, Jesus, in contextual form, he's talking about money here, but I'm talking about faithfulness. We'll get to money in a second, but faithful in what is least. Yeah. Yeah. Many people want increase. Everybody wants increase, but everybody is not faithful in what they currently have. This is a law of increase. All right. If you can be a good manager and a good steward of what you currently have, it will produce increase in your life. Yes, it will produce. God is looking for faithful people. Faithful people make themselves available. Yeah, available for ministry. We have to stop saying that people, we have to stop using the phrase full-time ministry to exclusive to just pastors and ministers who work for the church. Every one of you are in full-time ministry. The minute you got saved, you were put into ministry. Yeah, you all in full. You got to be full. You are full-time ministry. Say I'm full-time in the ministry. Come on. You don't take a break from this thing. Faithfulness. Faithful in what is least. So don't let life be a distraction to your faithfulness. It's no excuse. Jesus didn't take excuses for a lack of faithfulness. He did not. He did not. And so you've got to be able to manage what you have. You can't be in a pity party about not having as much as you want, but you have to be a good steward of what you have. Are you a good steward of what God has given you? Because if you are, it will produce increase in your life. Yeah, these are nuggets. So faithfulness is a law of increase. Here's another one I just love. Yeah, I just love this. Man, I'm meant to spend a whole message on this one. He who tills his land will have plenty of bread, but he who follows frivolity will have poverty enough. Look at that. Yeah, he who tills his land. So what do you think that is? Did y'all hit the share button on the video? Did y'all share the broadcast? Make sure you share it. Make sure you share it, because this is so practical. Everybody can get this, because everybody wants increase, but everybody is not faithful. He who tills his land, listen to this. He who tills his land will have plenty of bread. Now, you know what bread is. Bread is what you need to pay your bills. How about that? Yeah, bread. We sow the seed, we eat the bread. I mean, we take the bread, all right, but we sow seed. So bread is for your mortgage, your bills, everything you need to live. That's bread. Now he shows you this. He who tills his ground. He who tills his ground. Now this is very cute. You're gonna like this. He who tills his ground will reap. Now, Michelle, you're a farmer, so you know this is true. If you don't work your ground, right, you can't expect increase. Now, the believer has to understand what their ground is. What's your ground? You got to work the ground where you have been planted. You know, your bread is going to come from working the ground where you're planted. So you have to serve where you're planted. You have to give where you're planted. You got to work the ground where you're planted. Now, the ground, in order to do that, one of the laws of faithfulness is the assignment. Yeah. Faithful to your assignment. Is faithful to your assignment. You have to be faithful to the assignment, the assignment that God has given you. You have to understand what the assignment is, because the assignment is the reason God sent you here. He sent you here because of the assignment. Jesus was sent here to the earth because of an assignment. He understood what the assignment was. Listen, Jesus was sown into the earth. Somebody say, yes, he was, Pastor. And he was sown into the earth, and he worked the ground where he was sown in. You follow me? And he was faithful in the assignment. And then all things worked out for him, although all things were not good at times. I mean, were painful. He still resurrected. You follow what I'm saying? It produced resurrection is increase. It's when you give your life to God. And my God, it'll kill you. Yes, giving your life to God will kill you, but the new you that gets up is unstoppable. Come on, come on. Giving your life will kill you, but the new you that gets up is unstoppable. It's unstoppable. And so faithfulness to your assignment, that means each and every one of you should be able to verbally articulate what the assignment is. You should know what the assignment is. If you don't, you got to discover it. And if you still haven't discovered it by now, you need to set an appointment to see me so we can walk through making sure you understand what it is. You follow me? I truly believe that. So you got to think that Jesus came and he was faithful to the assignment, and he didn't let nobody distract him from the assignment. The assignment, the assignment, the assignment, the assignment. You got to be faithful to assignment. So royalty, listen to me, royalty is your identity, but servanthood is your assignment. Come on. Royalty is your identity, but servanthood is your assignment. I'm speaking to the remnant right now because I want to encourage the remnant. I want to encourage you. You guys have been faithful. And let me tell you why. You hang in there. You hang in there. Don't you listen? Don't you let adversity. See, it says you'll faint, and if you faint in the day of adversity, your faith is small. You have to be faithful even when adversity comes. Come on now. You got to be faithful when it gets hard. Yeah, you got to dig in when it gets hard. We're pressing toward the mark these last 3 months, and it may get difficult, but so what? I'm going to be faithful anyway. Are you hearing me? Servanthood, and people don't understand this. It amazes me how the average Christian hasn't gotten this part. They will get offended at God by what they haven't received from the promises, but they're not faithful to the assignment, nor do they know the assignment. And so ignorance will kill you. Ignorance will, let me use the phrase, use the word, is ignorance. Can be the source of why you are perishing or why you are fading, because you don't have a revelation of your own assignment. Church has not become purposeful because you don't understand. Listen, church will make sense when you understand your assignment. Helen, put that in the chat. Yeah. Church attendance and service. When you understand your assignment, church makes sense. If you don't understand your assignment, you will talk yourself out of church. My God, because people who have an assignment, my God, and understand the assignment are not easily distracted. Yeah, it's not easily distracted. They're not easily distracted. And so most people are ignorant. Most people are saved, but ignorant of their divine assignment. They don't understand it. They don't understand it. And I'm telling you, that's the problem. And so when you understand your divine assignment, you can identify distractions, right? You're not easily distracted when you understand your assignment, because your understanding of the assignment will produce a level of focus that's not easily interrupted by adversity, life, and people. Did you get what I just said? Your understanding of your assignment, you will not be easily distracted by life, adversity, and people. Jesus was not distracted by the Pharisees hating on him. He wasn't distracted by the apostles who didn't understand his purpose. He wasn't distracted by life that he was living in the human experience. And so faithfulness to your assignment is a must, is a must. If you want to reap the harvest, you have to sow your life. You have to sow your life. Remember, identity is your royalty is your identity, but your servanthood is the assignment, because everybody is called to serve people. Everybody. And everybody is called to serve people. So if you have people around you that are not dedicated to serving people, they're not dedicated to serving people, you're called to lead them. They're not called to lead you. They're not called to lead you. And the reality is you got to sow your life daily. He says, I die daily. Dying daily means you just sowing. You just going down. You just making sure that you get this thing right. Is this making sense to you? Faithfulness in giving. Faithfulness in giving. I've been teaching this for years. Most of you know it, and you still continue to know it. You should be a tither, and you should be a giver of offering and sacrifice. And we give sacrificially 3 times a year. It's all written in scripture. This is something you have to be faithful to. You have to be faithful to it because it demonstrates a level of, it demonstrates obedience. Your faithfulness, it demonstrates obedience, and obedience is a sign of your love for God. And if you love God, God will love you back. And you can't beat God giving. My God, it's your commitment to it. It should be in your mind, that it should be seared in your soul by now. These are the things that I do, and you plan to give. You know, giving shouldn't be a surprise. It should be a plan. I've been talking about giving sacrificially every year at the beginning of the year. So I don't have to teach you a giving message, all throughout the year like that. I mean, yeah, we talk about giving at particular times, and we do series on giving, but I probably do 2. And so if someone says, well, I don't even want to go with these naysayers because they don't even make any sense. I probably teach 2 or 3 giving messages out of all the 52 Sundays. Is that 52 Sundays a year? Is it? Yeah, I think it is 52 Sundays a year. I may teach a giving message at least twice, an actual giving message to stimulate faith. Other than that, I'm teaching everything that's going to build your soul and build your character. God's good before me to make the crooked places straight. Absolutely, Charlene. For sure. For sure. So faithfulness in your giving. Are you faithful in your giving? Or have you managed the 90? Oh no, have you managed what God has given you and making sure that these things you do it for the kingdom. You do it for the kingdom. You do it for the advancement of the kingdom. Because ministry requires an investment of the people's substance in order for ministry to touch the world. That's how ministry works. And so part of our faithfulness has to be in the area of our giving, because Jesus said that he looks at the heart to determine, he looks at your giving to determine where your heart is. Wherever your treasure is, there your heart is also. So this is about your heart. This is about your devotion to God, right? Yeah, your devotion to God. And we have been, Pastor Mo and I have been committed to doing this for years, and we're seeing the results of it. We're really seeing the results of it. And man, I couldn't say that. Let me just say this. You have to be faithful in giving, even when it's tight. It's right to give. You don't need to get a you don't need to get what you don't need to be instructed to give. You should be a giver anyway. He said it's more blessed to give than receive. Why? Because when you are a giver, it guarantees your receivership, if that's a word. All right. So faithfulness to your assignment, faithfulness in your giving. There's another, being faithful to God. Yeah, being faithful to God. Yeah, being faithful to God. God has to be the focal point. He has to be. He has to be the focal point. You should be doing everything for the glory. Do as everything you do as unto the Lord. Right? It has to be, in order for you to be faithful to God, you have to be, you have to have a reverence. And I'm telling you, the church is lacking of reverence for God. And and people don't realize it, but that's what's happening. They lack a reverence for God. They lack a fear, a reverential fear. My God, and the reason why they lack wisdom is because they're not willing to apply their life. And so they'll never see wisdom coming because they lack a reverence for God. When you acquire a reverence for God, wisdom will be knocking you upside your head. And you need wisdom for everything. But when you have a reverence for God, he'll give you wisdom. He'll give you wisdom because the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. How can we be looking for wisdom if we really don't want to obey God? When someone has a reverence for God, they're thinking about God when they do what they do. You remember when Joseph was tempted to sleep with Potiphar's wife? He gave the reason why he didn't do it. And the first thing he said was, I cannot dishonor God by sleeping with you or dishonor your husband who put me in charge. Yeah, he said so the first thing he thought about was God. The first thing you should think about every day is God. You ought to dedicate your life to honoring God. That you're gonna live by, in him you live and move and have your being. And so your faithfulness to God is critical to having increase. When you are faithful to God, listen, you can walk around. You know what faithfulness produces? Faithfulness will produce a level of confidence for your faith to go to the next level. When you are faithful, it is when you are in the will of God, when you have given your life to God. When bad stuff happens, you don't freak out because you know God's got you. You say it's all right. It's when unexpected things happen and you're faithful, you don't panic. Nah, it's gonna work. It's gonna work. I don't know. It's gonna work. I tell Bessie all the time, and she tells me this happened. I said, it's all right. It's gonna work out. Don't worry about that. Now we faithful. See, you know why? Because faithfulness not only will produce confidence in you, faithfulness will manufacture favor. My God, faithfulness will produce favor. Somebody shout back at me or something. Faithfulness will produce favor. Your faithfulness will get you recognized by God. Your faithfulness, I'm telling you, when the centurion in Acts chapter 10, Cornelius, the scripture says he was sowing seed and he was faithful to people and he wasn't even saved. Come on now. Come on now. He was sowing seed and it said his prayer came up as a memorial unto God. That means God is in heaven and Cornelius's life kept coming up in front of God, and God sent an angel to Cornelius's house, sent Peter to Cornelius's house, and Cornelius' house, the whole house got saved because this man was faithful. This man was faithful. Faithfulness will produce favor. If you want to see favor in your life, just remain faithful. You'll get noticed by the right people. You'll get noticed by God. You can't win. This guarantees it. This guarantees it. Then you can say stuff like, all things work out for the good of those who are called according to his purpose. You know, all things will work out for those who love God, are called according to his purpose. I'm telling you right now, it's going to work out for you, because faithfulness guarantees it's going to work out for you. Faithfulness is a law of increase. If you can just get faithful in your assignment, faithful in your giving, faithfulness to God, it is a game changer. It is a game changer. And all three of those will change your life. These are guarantees. This is not a hypothesis. Come on. This is not conjecture. This is not an if. No, I'm telling you, if you are faithful to the assignment, faithful to God, and faithful in giving, it guarantees increase. No matter what life comes your way, you will see increase. You will see increase. It guarantees it. Get in and stay in. Somebody put that in the chat. Get in God and stay in God. Be faithful to God. Give your life to this thing. It's working for me. It is working for me. It is. Don't you listen? You may not know how God's going to do it, but you believe that he already has. Just stay faithful and it'll show up. My God, just stay faithful. Just stay faithful. You're faithful in what you have, God will give you more. God brings increase to good managers. He brings increase to faithful people. If you manage well, it guarantees increase. So you can't walk around, how do I understand my assignment? That's an easy one. Just get in church and start serving people. You will discover your assignment when you start serving people. Yeah, guess right. You will discover your assignment when you start serving people. You may not know your assignment, but the way you learn your assignment is just get in a local church and start serving the people. And don't let nothing distract you from serving the people. Do you know how difficult it is to get people to serve and to be consistent at just getting the door? You know, just doing minuscule, I won't say minuscule, doing the duties of ministry. My God. And then once you master that, I got to teach you how to exercise your faith to get more. Because there are some people who are faithful, but they have stagnated. And not because God didn't want to give it to them, is because they didn't use their faith to get it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Some people are faithful in ministry, but still have not received because their faith has not operated at a higher level. Yes, I've seen that too. I've seen that too. And you've got to understand that when you are faithful, you have legal rights to stuff that other people don't have. But you got to exercise your faith to get it. You got what I'm saying? Now, faithfulness to the vision of the house. This is another principle of faithfulness. You got to be. So if you're just trying to discover your assignment, just be faithful to the vision of the house. Be faithful to the pastor's vision. What he's trying to, him or her is trying to accomplish in ministry. Yeah, get involved in doing the work. It may seem small to you. And see, that's the problem. People think it's small to serve. Think a small thing to get the door or to pray for people. They think it's small. They look at it's like it's insignificant, but you're sowing seed for a harvest that you've been believing God for. Your key is to be faithful to the vision of the house. What does the vision of the house require of the people? What does and get involved in it? My God, man, I think about Charlene sometime and I just like, man, that was so good. I mean, Charlene started the flag ministry. I think we had the flag ministry years ago, Tamika. I don't remember. I do think we were waving something. But Charlene came in right away and started the flag ministry and said, listen, I want to do this. That was her area. She said, I'm going to serve in this area. We didn't have that. And she started doing it. And I love it. I love it. You know, the waving the flags is a symbolic of angelic presence. Why the singing is going on. It's worship. I love it. I love it. Love it. Some of you got to get good at creating ministry. We may not have the ministry that you are supposed to do, but you're supposed to start it. Come talk to us about it. Maybe you're supposed to start something that we don't have. Don't complain about what the church is not doing. You discover your assignment in the church and start doing what the church needs, because you were sent there to be a gap filler. You were sent on an assignment to beautify the church. You were sent on the assignment to do something in particular that would bless people. My God. You don't join churches because the choir and the buildings and all those things. You join churches because of the voice of the set man or set woman. Once you get attracted to the voice, that's where God is planting you. And you got to be able to serve where you're planted, and you got to stick and stay, and you can't be a hopper. You can't be hopping from in and out, because when you church hop, your roots don't grow. When you can't. There's too many people church hopping, and their roots don't grow because you never settle in on any place. But when you understand your assignment to the body of Christ, I feed the people. That's right, Michelle. I believe you locked in on it. That's the assignment, and it's not secular. Because the minute you became saved, you feeding the people became a spiritual act. And you perfect that. Continue feeding the people, Michelle, and watch what happens. And we're going to get to a time where it's going to be difficult to get food. And you just keep feeding the people and watch God bless it. And you got to be faithful at feeding the people. And it may seem small now, but it can become bigger. It can become bigger if you're faithful, and God can touch it. And so remember this. And I'm talking to a remnant of people. Now you've got to remain faithful despite what it looks like. Yeah, that's one of the biggest challenges, is because some people have been faithful for a long time and you don't understand process. Everybody has to go through a process, and your process may be different, but it's still a process. And so you never can compare your journey with someone else's, because they have a different process. Are y'all understanding me? You understand me? Don't do that. See, let me just say this. When you're called to leadership, you have to be consecrated to the process of leadership. What do I mean by that? That every calling has a process. Every calling. So if you're called to teach, you have to be consecrated to teach. There's a process to become an effective teacher. If you're called to have a business, there's a process to being a good business owner. That you have to be faithful to the calling. You have to be faithful to the calling. So every assignment has a process. The principles are different, but the assignments are different, and the principles are the same. That's what I want to say. The assignment is different. Say it with me. The assignment is different, but the principles of process are the same. And so you can never compare a process of a doctor with the process of a pastor, because you'll get offended, because you'll think, why do I have to go through this? A pastor knows, if he's trained well, that the people will turn on him eventually. Some people will. A pastor knows that some of his closest leaders will betray him. Yes, that's a part of the process. So when that happens, the pastor can't quit. Am I making sense? Am I making sense here? An athlete knows that they may get injured during working out and competing. They don't quit. They bounce back. They know it's going to require discipline in their body, getting up early. They know there's a process to that, and they have to be faithful to the call of being an athlete. Am I making sense? The assignment is different, but the principles of development are the same. So stop comparing someone else's process with yours when they don't have the same call. You understand what I'm saying? And many people get distracted. Why they ain't going through that? There are certain things that I can't do that you can do that I can't do because of my functioning and what I'm telling you. There's certain things God won't, let me just say it this way. There's certain things God won't allow me to do because of my positioning in the kingdom. You may be able to do it, but I can't. You understand? I can't be walking around doing certain things. I can't, although it won't send me to hell. Am I making sense? If you're tracking me, say I'm tracking you, Pastor. I got you. I understand. So I can stop. Does that make sense to y'all? Do you understand what I'm saying? There's some things you can't do. Not because it'll take away your holiness, because of the assignment. You can't do it because it's not. Thank you, Kanisha. She says, I'm tracking you. Good. I got one person that just with me. I gotta stop. Yeah, I'm tracking. Thank you. I just want to make sure I'm being heard and understood. My desire is to be heard and to be understood. Now, this moment of increase, thank you, Charlene. This moment of increase. Now, faithfulness. Now, this is not an old message. I mean, this is an old message, but it comes with a new reality because most Christians are not faithful. And it's sad to say, but it's the truth. Most Christians are not faithful, and they're looking for increase, and they lack faithfulness, and they're looking for increase. If you could just become faithful. And so I hope I touched your heart this morning. I hope the Holy Spirit has nudged you and has confirmed that you're doing the right thing. Keep doing it. You're doing the right thing. Keep doing it. You're going to reap. You're going to reap. If you faint not, you got to keep doing good. Even when it's difficult, you got to keep sowing when you haven't seen the harvest. It demonstrates faithfulness. You got it. It is. And sometimes God looks at you and go, I heard what you asked me for, and I want to give it to you, but will you be faithful after I give it to you? And he already knows the answer to that. Could it be that God says we're not ready to receive increase because we lack faithfulness? He wants to see if your motives are pure, especially when it comes to giving. I really believe that. I think he wants to see if your motives are pure. Can you still serve me without having all your needs met yet? Can you still serve me while you're waiting for all your needs met? And can you still tithe and you don't see what you're believing yet? What's your motive for tithing? Is your motive if your motives to get your bills paid, or are your motives to honor me? Which one is it? This is why when Jesus called, I love this. I'm closing, y'all. This is why I tell you, I saw Jesus do this and I just shook my head. And I made mistakes early on pastoring by giving people stuff too soon. I did that. But Jesus never, when he said, follow me, Helen, he never told them what they were going to get. All that they were going to get blessed. He never taught about blessing. He said, follow me. And he just wanted to see if they were going to follow him for the sake of following him. Can you follow Jesus without him telling you what you're going to get in return? I've heard people say this and it hurts my heart. Well, God's not answering my prayer, but you're not faithful. Why should he? He know you're not faithful. And you'll be a worse Christian if he gave it to you and you weren't faithful. We can't be following God because of the blessing. We follow him because we want to honor him, and we're grateful that he chose us. That's why we follow him. The blessing is an added. He says, seek my face and not my hand. If you get my face, my hand will wrap around you. We have to seek his face. We have to seek him. This is what it's about. And if you're not seeking him, I don't know what you're seeking. Are you seeking the blessings, the promises? Are you seeking the promises without him? Is that what you want? My God. Didn't the prodigal son realize that he couldn't live without God? He took God's substance and it ran out. And he says, I got to go back home. He said, because I don't have nothing. He says, I need to go back to the house. I don't need to leave the house. He said, I got to go back to the house. He came to himself and he says, man, I didn't realize I really didn't want God's stuff. I really didn't need God's stuff. I needed him to be with me always, because if I'm with him always, his stuff doesn't run out. It's only when I do my own thing and live outside of the house that my stuff will run out. I got to get in the house and stay in the house. It's only human parents that raise children up and say, get out of the house. My God. But God will raise you up and say, stay in the house. I want you to stay in the house. Let's do the work together in the house. Ooh, please, I really need all of you to share this, because I want to evangelize the world that God has given me. And I'm telling you, this message will deliver. I'm praying this message will deliver a backslider. I'm praying this message will get somebody to see it. So please, share. I'm out of time, but this has been great. Listen, whew, my God, I hope you're preparing to sow sacrificially at the end of the month. And listen, no, don't get under no. I don't want you having a spiritual fit about sowing. Just let God lead you, and let him lead you. Come on, let him lead you. You shouldn't be sowing out of fear. You shouldn't be sowing out of guilt. You should be you should be excited about giving sacrificially. Oh, you should be excited about it. And just honor God with your best. You know, your best. I'm believing God to sow $2,000. I am. And I'm believing God to do that. So, you can join me. I'm believing God to do that. And so don't get stressed out. If you're getting stressed out, you something wrong. And you have to question your heart, you really do. You really, this is good for you. This is good for you. God doesn't need money from us. He doesn't. He does want our life, but he doesn't need money. He don't need money, but you and I need money. So he's given us principles to do it. And one of them is giving sacrificially. And listen, get somebody in church on Sunday. I want you to speak to somebody new, somebody you had never spoke to before, and invite them to church on Sunday and prophesy to them. Tell them what they're going to get. Say, God is going to do this for you. Open up your mouth and let the Spirit lead you and begin to prophesy. This month is a month of atonement. This month is the beginning of the Jewish calendar year. And my God, Jesus came to the Jews first. And it behooves us to understand what he said to the Jews, because what he said to the Jews applies to us. Some of it, not all of it, but some of it. It does. It truly does. And honoring God during this season, it's in the word. It's in the word. Deuteronomy 16:16. So let's lock in on this thing. If you hadn't had an opportunity to sow your weekly seed, you can do that. Always, y'all know how to do that. But I just want to encourage you. I just want to encourage you, strengthen you. We got 3 months left. We're going to finish strong. We're not going to carry guilt about what we didn't do yesterday. We're going to get up and do what we're supposed to do today. Am I right? What are you going to do today to honor God? What are you going to do today to honor God? What are you going to do today? Come on. What can you do today? I'm praying God sends souls your way. Get on, just witness to them and share Christ's love. Invite them to church this Sunday, 11:30. We're going to have an awesome time, as we always do. And I'm just believing God for you. You know, I really am. That's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. It is going to be great. It's going to be great. Have a wonderful weekend. Wonderful weekend. Remember, faithfulness is a law of increase. Man, it is. Y'all have a good day. I'll see you Sunday morning.